What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I want to talk about more of a serious, well, all the topics I hope are pretty serious, but I want to talk about something that has been on my mind because we see this happen all the time and not many people necessarily talk about it, but I think that it's affecting what we want in life and or it will affect what our next generation and those that come after us want in life. So I'm kind of going to ask a rhetorical question just to kind of stir up our minds to get us thinking a certain type of way. Sometimes, if the right questions are not asked and if our minds are not triggered, we never really seek for a solution and try to come up with an answer. So, my question is, what do we think, or what did we think? And don't just leave on the first question because you'll think that I'm being one sided. So just hang on. What did we think was going to happen when teenage girls were having babies at a young age with no real connection to the father of the child? What did we think was going to happen? And when I say was going to happen, I mean in the future of both the child, the mentality of the girl, so on and so forth. What do we think was going to happen when young men could sow seeds into that young lady, find out that she was expecting, and he tell her he wants nothing to do with the child. He's not going to pay his part. He barely comes around to spend time with the child. Every once in a while, throw the baby up in the air, laugh and giggle, maybe on a birthday or something, but 80% of that child's life, if the child is even able to get here, if you know what I mean, what do we think was going to happen in the mind of that child, in the mind of that young man who assisted in the life of that child, in the mind of the young lady who actually had the child? What do we think was going to happen? What do we think was going to happen when even in a good situation two people were married, had children, and for whatever reason the relationship fell apart? More times than not, the woman is left with the kids. What do we think was going to happen when a great majority of children were going to be raised by single mothers? What do we think was going to happen? Not in every case. So I'm not talking about every case. I myself am a very active father, even though I am a divorced man. But what do we think was going to happen when we get a divorce? We're no longer with the ex-wife, we're no longer with the mother of the child, and we do not stay active in the children's life. What do we think was going to happen? I think that a lot of the issues that we are having and seeing in relationships today, in some way or another, can be pointed back to whatever our family dynamic and values were. And I'm not just talking about whether somebody was married and divorced. I'm not even talking about that. But I'm talking about the values that are being placed from one generation to the next generation. And if those values are not at the highest level, and if those values are not pure, and if those values are not respectful, if we are in a marriage, so because that's what they would say, would nobody should be having kids before they get married. Okay, so now you're gonna get married, and the marriage don't work out. The man leaves. Not in every situation. Just hear me out. Not in every situation. Just hear me out. The man leaves. The mother may have scorn because she realized that the weight of the survival of the family that's left, a mother, two kids, a mother, one child, mother, three kids, she got to get in on her grind, get a support team, get family, friends involved to help raise these kids. She has to go to work, go to school, try to better herself, do what's best. There's a lot of complications that come with that. There's a lot of mental stress and strain that comes with that. And in the process of maybe her being scorned, maybe when she speaks to the children of the father, she's using words like that no good dad of yours. What do we think was going to happen? What do we think was going to happen when she said it? And what do we think was going to happen when what she said is actually true? What did we think was going to happen to our society? When the father of a child on their 8th birthday can say, I'm going to pick you up next week. I haven't been spending no time with you. You just turned 8 years old. I'm going to pick you up now every other week. You're going to spend all day Saturday with me, all day Sunday. I'm going to bring you back to your mom. And the child at 8 years old is excited because they get to spend time with daddy. And the mom says, I wouldn't trust your dad. He don't never do what he say. What did we think was going to happen when the child heard those words? And then Saturday rolls around and the child is looking out the window because dad's taking me to Chuck E. Cheese. Dad's taking me to McDonald's Playhouse. Dad's taking me to ride the little bumper cars and the go-karts for kids my age. Dad's taking me to the water park. Me and Dad's going to the park, to the Carowinds. And in the morning, you wide awake. The mom got the kids looking fresh. But the mom know he probably ain't coming. She done told the child he probably ain't coming. The child, in the innocence, believe that dad is coming. 10 o'clock roll around. 1 o'clock roll around. 4 p.m. roll around. There's a no-show, no call, no contact, no communication. So finally the child gets out that window and goes in their room and just watches cartoons or plays video games for the rest of the day. Quiet. Because they're trying to internalize the best way they can at their age. Why didn't dad do what he said? What do we think was going to happen? When that was a continual process The, the father said, I'll be there. The mother said, I wouldn't believe you're dead. Conflicting stories in the mind of a child. And then the dad ends up not showing up. The mom said, I told you. Now go take them clothes off, put on your play clothes, go on outside and play. What did we think was going to happen? I told you that no good dad of yours. And the child has to admit and agree that for whatever reason, he didn't keep his word. What do we think was going to happen? When there was no man in the house, or even if he had to be out the house like me, that would take his son aside and say, this is how you value and treat women. You have a sister. That's what I tell my son. You have a sister. This is how you value women. You help your sister. When my daughter, on the weekends and the days that I have them, and my daughter comes in late from work, she'll text, I'm here. And I tell my son, get up, go out, and meet her in the parking lot so she don't come in the dark. And you do this until y'all no longer are staying at the same place. And you also would do this for your wife. Because when a woman comes in at 11:30 at night and it's dark, she don't need to have any apprehension or fear. But when there's no man to guide that young man to teach the value of women, and he grows up and has no value for women, no understanding of how they think, how they move, how precious they can be, what do we think is going to happen? When the young girl sees and hears at night the door open and the moans of a mother, and she look outside and it's a different car every couple of weeks, and she looks again when the door closes and see a different man, what did we think was going to happen? When that same young girl did not have the attention of her father, and maybe only a little attention of her mother because of the work schedule. The mom can't even help with the homework. There's no attention from the father. Women are built by nature to have attention. What did we think was going to happen when she was 14 and that 19-year-old man approaches her and say, you look older than your age? How'd you like my car? Let's go shopping. Let's hang out. And mom, because of her work schedule, can't pick up on the fact my daughter's mood is changing now because she's involved in things beyond her maturity to control, but she ain't really getting in no trouble and the mom is happy. What did we think was going to happen, people? Now, I'm not talking to you all, but as a society, we got to do better. That's why I'm so hard on men who don't spend time with their children. And all of the difficulties that me and my ex-wife had, I speak highly of her to my kids. And my kids told her that. She thought that I may not. And my kids told her, they don't say nothing negative. And there's nothing really negative that there's always something that we can say, but to berate somebody for what? We have a joint responsibility to love and take care of our kids. So that's all I wanted to do. Just come on and just ask the question, what did we think was going to happen? In the words of Minister Malcolm X, This is the chickens coming home to roost. No value. And then those that are 16, 8 years old, 15, 16, eventually become 25 and 30. Let's talk about it in the comments, y'all. I just want to get this off my chest. I might title this one Chickens Coming Home to Roost. Share this with somebody. Y'all be blessed.